Welcome back to BookCast FM, bringing books to life one cast at a time.
It's great to be back.
Today we're all about Authentic Happiness by Martin Seligman.
Oh, yeah, this one's a classic.
This book pretty much launched the whole field of positive psychology.
It did. It really did.
And we're going to break it all down for you.
I can forward to it.
It's interesting, before this book came out, psychology was mostly focused on what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
Mental illness, trauma,
Heavy stuff.
all the tough stuff.
Exactly.
And Seligman basically said, hey, what about what makes life worth living? How do we, not just survive,
Thrive, yeah.
but thrive?
Right.
Huge shift in focus.
It is. It is a huge shift.
It's not just about fixing what's broken.
Exactly.
It's about building what's strong.
Exactly.
And that's what positive psychology is all about.
That's a great point, yeah.
Understanding our strengths.
Yeah.
What makes us tick.
Mm-hmm.
How we can use those strengths to create a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful.
Mm.
Absolutely. And that leads us to Seligman's 3 paths to happiness.
Right.
He argues it's not just about seeking pleasure, but something much, much deeper.
Way deeper.
So walk us through these paths. What's the first one?
Okay, so the first one's called The Pleasant Life.
Yeah.
And it's all about those simple pleasures.
Okay.
Good food, beautiful sunsets,
Yeah.
hanging out with your favorite people.
So the good stuff.
The good stuff, yeah. These things are important. They really are. But
Yeah.
they don't necessarily lead to long-term happiness,
Yeah, because it's fleeting.
Fleeting.
It fades away.
We adapt, right?
Yeah, you get used to it.
It's like that new car smell.
Exactly.
It's awesome at first,
Yeah.
but eventually it kind of fades away.
It's your car.
It's just your car.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why he introduces the second path, the engaged life.
The engaged life.
Yeah, and this one is about finding flow and fulfillment through using our strengths.
Okay, so this is where it starts to get really interesting for me, I think.
Okay, tell me more.
You're in the zone.
Yeah.
Time flies by.
Mm-hmm.
You're completely absorbed in what you're doing.
Do lose yourself.
Yes. And Seligman argues that that's often tied to, using our strengths, right?
100%.
Think about a time when you were completely immersed in something.
Yeah.
Maybe you were playing music or writing.
Oh, for sure. Or even just having a really, really good conversation.
Yes.
Like we're having right now.
Exactly. And what strengths were you using in those moments?
Oh, it's going to be creativity for me. I
Yeah.
love to create, coming up with new ideas, expressing myself.
Mhm.
That's when I feel most alive.
For me, I'd say it's writing.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I'm really into writing a story or working on a script, I just lose all track of time.
You get in the flow.
It's almost like I enter a different world.
It's magical, isn't it?
It is. It is. And that's such a great example of how the engaged life can be so much more fulfilling,
Way more fulfilling than just chasing after temporary pleasure.
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got the pleasant life, enjoying those good things, and the engaged life, tapping into our strengths to find that flow. What's the third path?
The third path is where it gets really deep,
Okay.
It's the meaningful life.
Meaningful life.
And it's all about using your strengths
Okay.
for something bigger than yourself.
Okay.
Connecting to a purpose beyond your own individual needs.
So it's kind of like volunteering,
Yeah.
working for a cause you believe in,
Exactly.
being part of a community, creating something that will outlast you,
You got it.
that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself.
Yeah.
Finding that sense of purpose.
Hmm.
Seligman believes this is key for true happiness.
It makes me think of that quote by Viktor Frankl.
Oh, yeah.
Man's search for meaning is the primary motivation in his life,
I love that quote.
and not a secondary rationalization of instinctual drives.
That's so good. Yeah.
And I think that really, ties into what Seligman's talking about with the meaningful life.
100%. Frankl's work in logotherapy
Yeah.
really complements Seligman's focus on this idea of the meaningful life.
Yeah.
Both of them emphasize that we have this deep, inherent drive
Yeah.
to find meaning and purpose in our life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we've got these 3 paths,
Mm.
but it makes me wonder, can we actually choose our path to happiness?
That's a great question.
Or are we just kind of stuck with whatever level of happiness we're born with?
Yeah, are we doomed from the start?
Yeah, right.
Well, this is where Seligman's happiness formula comes in.
Happiness formula. Okay, I'm intrigued.
He says happiness, or H, is actually a combo of our set point, our
Yeah.
circumstances, and our voluntary activities.
Okay, break that down for us. What's
Yeah.
a set point?
So your set point, think of it like your baseline happiness level.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, are naturally more cheerful.
They woke up like that.
Exactly. And it's often due to their genes.
So some people just have a sunnier disposition from the get-go.
It seems that way.
Okay.
But here's the good news.
Okay, give me the good news.
Genetics only account for about 50% of our happiness levels.
Okay, so that means we have some control.
Exactly. The other 50% comes from our circumstances and our voluntary activities.
Okay, so we do have some say in the matter. That's a relief.
Big time.
So let's dig into those circumstances a bit more.
Yeah.
Does this mean that things like, money or a fancy job title, they don't really matter when it comes to happiness?
It's not that they don't matter at all. It's
Yeah.
more that their impact is less significant
Okay.
and less lasting than we often believe.
So that whole winning the lottery will make me happy idea,
Yeah.
that's a myth.
It's a bit of a myth, yeah. Think about it. If you win the lottery,
Right.
you're going to be ecstatic at first, of course.
Yeah.
But over time, that initial euphoria,
The fades.
it fades as you adapt to your new lifestyle.
So the key takeaway here is that chasing external achievements
Yeah.
might not be the best way to find lasting happiness.
You got it.
It's more about cultivating well-being from within.
Exactly.
Okay, which brings us back to those voluntary activities you mentioned.
Yeah.
What are some things we could actively do to boost our happiness?
There's a whole bunch, and we'll dive deeper into this in part 3.
Okay, tease it for us.
But Seligman talks about things like practicing gratitude,
Okay.
doing kind things for other people,
Mm-hmm.
learning new skills,
Yes,
spending
ma'am.
time in nature,
Yeah.
nurturing our relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, using our strengths in new and creative ways.
It seems like the key is to be proactive about our happiness, right?
Absolutely. That's one of the most empowering things about positive psychology,
Yeah.
It's not about passively waiting for happiness to find us.
No.
It's about actively creating it.
We got to go out and get it.
We got to make it happen.
I love that.
It's empowering, isn't it?
It is. It is. This has been a fantastic overview of Seligman's core ideas.
It has.
I feel like I'm already starting to see happiness in a whole new light.
It's amazing what a little shift in perspective can do.
It really is.
It's been great exploring these ideas with you.
And for our listeners, this is just the beginning of our deep dive into authentic happiness.
Make sure to join us for part 2.
Yeah. Next time, we're going to explore the fascinating world of signature strengths.
I love this part.
And if you want to learn even more,
Definitely grab the book.
we highly recommend picking up Authentic Happiness itself.
You won't regret it.
You can find a link in the episode description. And by purchasing the book, you'll be directly supporting the author's work.
Always a good thing.
Until next time, keep those positive vibes flowing.
You got it.
This is BookCast FM signing off.
Sinai! Welcome back to BookCast FM, bringing books to life one cast at a time.
We're diving back into authentic happiness.
Back for more.
And this time, it's all about those signature strengths we mentioned at the end of part 1.
Oh, yeah. Those are fun.
So what are they exactly?
Well, think of your signature strengths as your superpowers,
Okay.
the qualities that really make you you.
I like that.
Seligman says we all have them.
Hmm.
But a lot of us, we don't even realize what they are.
We don't recognize them.
We don't cultivate them.
So it's like we have all this potential just waiting to be, unlocked.
Exactly. And when we do tap into these strengths,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing. We can unlock a whole new level of happiness, fulfillment,
Wow.
even success,
Okay, I am all ears.
All right.
How do we even figure out what our signature strengths are?
Great question. So Seligman and his team,
Yeah.
they actually developed this really cool tool.
Okay.
It's called the VIA Survey of Character Strengths.
VIA survey.
Okay. And it's free. It's available online.
Oh,
It's designed to help you identify your top strengths.
so like a personality test kind of thing.
Kinda,
Yeah.
but it's more focused on your positive qualities.
Okay, I like it.
And don't worry, we'll drop a link in the show notes so you can check it out.
Perfect. But for now, give us a sneak peek.
Okay.
What kind of strengths are we talking about here?
Okay, so Seligman identifies 24 character strengths,
24.
and they're grouped into 6 broad virtues.
6 virtues. Okay.
The first one is wisdom and knowledge,
Okay.
and that includes strengths like curiosity, love of learning, creativity, open-mindedness.
Those are all really good ones. I feel like those are definitely strengths I value in myself and others.
For sure, those are important.
What are some of the other virtues?
Okay, let's see. We've got courage,
Courage.
which includes bravery, perseverance, honesty, and zest.
Zest. I like that one.
Then there's humanity,
Humanity.
that encompasses love, kindness, social intelligence.
I feel like those are essential for good relationships.
Absolutely, they're the foundation of strong connections.
What else do we have?
We've got justice,
Right.
which includes fairness, leadership, and teamwork.
Important for working together.
And then there's temperance.
Temperance.
Which includes forgiveness, humility, prudence, and self-regulation.
Ooh, those are good ones. Those are things that can help us stay grounded, navigate all the challenges in life.
Definitely helps us keep things in check.
Okay. What's the last one?
The final virtue is transcendence.
Transcendence.
And this one includes gratitude, hope, humor, spirituality, and appreciation of beauty.
Wow. That's quite a list. I feel like there's a strength for everyone in there.
Exactly. That's the amazing thing, We all have a unique combination of strengths.
Mm-hmm.
It's what makes us special and allows us to, contribute to the world in our own way.
So how do we actually, put these strengths into action? It's one thing to know what they are, but how do we, use them?
Okay, so one of the most powerful ways to apply this is to align your work with your signature strengths.
Work, okay.
Because when you're doing work that utilizes your natural talents and abilities, you're going to feel more engaged, motivated. You might even experience that flow state we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. So it's not just about finding a job that, pays the bills.
Right.
It's about finding work that really, resonates with who you are.
Exactly. Finding your purpose in the work.
Finding your purpose, yeah.
Now, I know you might not be in your dream job right now.
Right.
But there are still ways to use your strengths in your current role.
Okay, how?
Well, maybe there's a project you can take on that lets you use your creativity. Mm-hmm. Or maybe you can learn a new skill.
Yeah.
Something that will benefit your career.
Okay, I like that.
It's about being proactive,
Yeah, it's empowering to know that we have some control over how we experience our work.
Totally.
Even if we can't, quit our jobs tomorrow.
And, it's not just about work, right?
Right.
We can use our strengths in our relationships, too.
Relationships, okay.
If one of your strengths is kindness,
okay,
you can make a conscious effort to do something kind for your loved ones every day.
I like that.
Or if humor is one of your strengths, use it. Lighten the mood,
Right.
Bring more joy into your interactions.
Those are such good examples.
Yeah.
It just shows that we can weave our strengths into, everyday life.
100%. Make it a habit.
What about our kids? We talked a little bit about strength-based parenting before.
Yes. And it's so important.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
Okay, so helping kids identify their strengths and then nurture those strengths.
Okay.
It can have a huge impact on their development and well-being.
It's not just about us focusing on our strengths.
Right.
It's about helping others discover and embrace theirs as well.
Exactly. Empowering the next generation.
And I think one of the most, universal strengths we can all cultivate is gratitude.
Gratitude is huge.
We hear that word a lot these days.
For good reason.
But how does it actually work?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
When we focus on what we're thankful for, it shifts our attention away from what we feel is lacking.
Right.
And we start to appreciate the good things we already have in our lives.
So it's like changing the channel in our minds.
Oh, I like that. Tuning into a more positive frequency.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we practice gratitude?
Well, you can keep a gratitude journal.
Okay.
You can write thank you notes. Or even just take a few minutes each day.
Yeah.
To reflect on things you're grateful for.
I've heard of Seligman's gratitude visit exercise, where
yeah.
you write a letter to someone who's really impacted your life.
Yeah.
And then you actually read it to them in person.
It's powerful stuff.
Have you ever done that?
I have, and it's amazing. It not only strengthens your bond with the person,
right,
but it also just fills you with this overwhelming sense of gratitude and joy.
Wow.
I highly recommend giving it a try.
I'm definitely going to try that.
You should.
So we have these individual strengths,
Mm-hmm.
but Seligman takes it a step further, right?
He does.
He talks about how positive psychology can actually create a better world.
He does. He's got this big vision.
That's amazing.
Schools that teach happiness, workplaces that cultivate strength, so societies that prioritize well-being.
Instead of just economic growth and all that.
Exactly. He sees positive psychology as a way to transform not just individuals, but entire communities and even nations.
Does he give any examples of how this could actually work?
He does. He talks about Bhutan.
It's
a small country in the Himalayas.
Okay.
And they've adopted gross national happiness.
Gross national happiness. Interesting.
It has a guiding principle for their development.
So instead of just chasing GDP.
Right.
They're looking at the well-being of their citizens.
Exactly. Things like mental and physical health, education, community vitality, environmental sustainability.
That's amazing. So they're really taking a holistic view of what it means to live a good life.
100%.
And while Bhutan might be a unique case,
Yeah.
I feel like their example could inspire other countries
It definitely could.
to maybe explore similar measures.
Yeah.
Because it's clear that true progress, it involves more than just money,
Way more.
It's about well-being, happiness,
It's about thriving.
Exactly.
I love the idea of happiness becoming a global goal.
Me too.
Something we all strive for collectively as a society.
This has been such a fascinating exploration of signature strengths.
It has.
And their potential impact
It's amazing stuff.
on our lives and the world around us.
I know. It really makes you think.
It really does. It really does. And we've only just scratched the surface, haven't we?
We have. There's so much more to discover in authentic happiness.
For our listeners, make sure you join us for the final part of our deep dive,
Part 3.
where we'll explore practical tips and exercises for boosting your happiness
Get ready for action.
and putting all of these amazing concepts into practice.
I can't wait.
Until then, keep exploring those strengths.
You got it.
This is BookCast FM signing off.
Welcome back to BookCast FM, bringing books to life one cast at a time. We're back for the final part of our deep dive into Martin Seligman's authentic happiness.
It's been a great journey so far.
It really has.
We've explored the 3 paths to happiness.
Yeah.
Uncovered the power of those signature strengths.
Those are so cool.
And even talked about the potential for positive psychology to change the world.
Big ideas.
Big ideas, right?
But in this final part, we're going to get practical.
Okay.
We're going to explore some exercises and techniques.
I'm ready.
That you can use.
Give me my happiness toolkit.
All right, let's do it.
What's the first tool we're adding?
One of the simplest but most powerful practices.
Okay.
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Seligman talks about how gratitude can actually rewire our brains for positivity.
I touched on gratitude in the last part.
We did.
But I'm really interested in the how. How can we actually make gratitude a regular part of our lives?
That's the key, right?
Yeah.
Making it a habit. Well, there are tons of easy ways to do that.
Yeah.
One of the most popular is keeping a gratitude journal.
Okay.
Each day, just take a few minutes to write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for.
Okay, so just like a list.
Kinda. But the key is to really savor those good things.
Okay.
Let those feelings of gratitude sink in.
So it's not just writing them down, it's actually feeling it.
Yeah, really experience it.
Got it.
And you can get creative with it, too.
Okay.
You could write a gratitude letter to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who's made a difference in your life.
Okay.
Or just make a mental note of things you're grateful for throughout the day.
So find what works for you
Exactly.
and make it a habit.
Exactly.
I like that. Speaking of habits,
Okay.
what about that 3 good things exercise that Seligman talks about?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
Can you remind us how that works?
So, at the end of each day,
Okay.
you reflect on 3 good things that happened and why they happened.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of figuring out what led to those good things.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
It helps you focus on the positive and figure out how to create more of those positive outcomes.
It's like a happiness debrief, like a daily check-in.
It is. It is.
Okay, so we've got gratitude journaling,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 good things, exercise.
Check and check.
What else can we add to our happiness arsenal?
Well, Seligman also talks about strength stretching.
Strength stretching.
Which is basically using your signature strengths
Yeah.
in new and creative ways.
Okay, we talked about signature strengths in part 2.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear more about this strength stretching. How do you actually do that?
So let's say one of your signature strengths is creativity.
Okay.
To stretch that strength,
Yeah.
you might try writing a poem,
Hey.
learning a new art form, or brainstorming creative solutions to problems at work.
So you're kind of pushing your strengths a little bit.
Yeah, you're taking them to the gym.
You're challenging yourself to use them in different ways.
Exactly. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
You get better at it.
Like anything else, it takes practice.
This makes me realize that I often take my strengths for granted,
Yeah, I get that.
I'm so used to using them, I don't even think about it.
Right.
But this idea of strength stretching, it's really inspiring me to be more intentional about it.
Love that.
Okay, so we've got gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
We've got strength stretching.
Check.
What about when we're actually experiencing something positive,
Okay.
How can we make those good feelings last longer?
Oh, this is important. Seligman talks about savoring. Savoring those positive experiences, because so often we rush through life, right?
Yeah, we're always on to the next thing.
Always thinking about what's next.
And we miss out on actually enjoying the moment.
Exactly. It's like we're so busy taking pictures that we forget to actually experience the moment.
It's so true.
So the next time you're having a great meal or watching a beautiful sunset, having a deep conversation, try to slow down and savor it.
Be present.
Be present.
Okay?
Pay attention to the details. Let it sink in.
It's like hitting the pause button on life for a second.
It is. It is. And just like soak it all in.
And the more we practice that, the better we get at it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's a skill.
I like that.
And finally, we can't forget about relationships.
Relationships.
Seligman emphasizes that strong social connections are one of the biggest predictors of happiness.
I mean, we're social creatures.
We are.
We need to feel connected.
We need to feel loved and supported.
Absolutely.
And that means spending quality time with people we care about. But it also means getting involved in our communities, joining groups that align with our interests.
Okay.
Even volunteering our time.
So it's about finding those places where you feel like you belong.
Exactly. Finding your tribe.
And I think, when you're focused on giving to others, on using your strengths to make a positive impact, it often makes you feel happier too.
It's that beautiful cycle of giving and receiving.
And that's really the essence of authentic happiness, isn't it?
It is.
It's not just about chasing pleasure or achieving success. It's about living a life that has meaning, purpose, and connection.
Beautifully said.
This has been such an inspiring deep dive into authentic happiness.
It has.
I feel like I have a whole new outlook on happiness.
Me too. And remember, the journey to authentic happiness, it's ongoing.
It's a process.
It's a practice,
Be patient with yourself.
Try different things.
Find what works for you.
You got this.
If you want to learn more, we highly recommend picking up the book.
Definitely do.
You can find a link in the episode description. By purchasing the book, you'll be directly supporting the author's work.
Always a good thing.
This is BookCast FM, signing off.